This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Aguner Poroshmoni, a song from Rabindranath Tagore's famous play Daghar, published in 1912, about a young boy incurably ill and blessed with a fantastic imagination. 100 years later, we come across this unexpected rendition of the play's most famous song, in the voices of a high school choir from Valladolid in northern Spain.
আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো দহন দানে
Toca mi aliento con la piedra mágica del fuego. Haz virtuosa la vida con la caridad de las llamas fúnebres.
Few may know that one of Spain's greatest poets, Juan Ramón Jiménez, and his wife Zenobia Camprobi had a very special relationship with Rabindranath Tagore's poetry, which resulted in Tagore becoming a household name in Spain once. On the 150th year of Tagore's birth anniversary, we're on a very special journey that seeks to rediscover Tagore's Spanish connection. It was a connection we first heard at the Cervantes Institute in Delhi at the release of a book called Rediscovering Tagore in Spain, and then elaborated by anecdotes like this one.
It's quite a bit of a coincidence, but I did study in a school in northern Madrid, a public school named Rabindranath Tagore. I do remember from my times of childhood watching at Tagore's pictures that we had in the different classrooms. Quite an imposing figure, particularly if you think of Spanish children.
So here it is, the Rabindranath Tagore School in the heart of Madrid. Tagore's intimate relationship with Argentinian poet Victoria Ocampo is fairly well known, but his Hispanic link runs even deeper, a story that begins for us at the Madrid airport. William Radici, renowned for his translations of Tagore, has flown in with his wife from London and is talking to Professor Ganguly, a well-known scholar of Spanish and Latin American studies. Maria Elena is a guitarist from Cuba. Ananya Chatterjee, the head of Department of Dance at Minneapolis University, and Paramita, a singer and the head of the Tagore Center in London. Artist and philosopher Prabodh Parekh and his wife Meeta Parekh, a professor of literature, have come from Mumbai, along with Indraneel Chakrabarti, a professor of film at the Whistling Woods Academy. Emilia Ibanez Cortes is a literary critic from Spain, and Denis from Cuba, the project coordinator.
I thought of mounting a project with Spanish specialists and English specialists, traveling together and putting up a show, a road show, on the different aspects of Tagore.
I'm not a Tagore specialist as such, but my interest has been in this whole question of the Hispanic reception of Tagore. Rest of the West, he disappeared after the 20s, maybe after the 30s. Why in the Spanish world he survived even up to the 80s continuously.
Pivotal to our story and this journey, two names. Nobel Prize winner and one of Spain's greatest poets, Juan Ramón Jiménez, and his wife Zenobia Camprobi. The two together translated Tagore into Spanish, their translations acknowledged as masterpieces in themselves.
These translations entered the mainstream in the whole Spanish-speaking world.
It may not look like it, but most of these artists and academics have met each other for the first time. Their challenge will be to bring to life the range of Tagore's influences to Spanish audiences across 3 cities, on themes as varied as Tagore in translation or as nuanced as his relationship with Gandhi.
Now, surprisingly, one of the finest Gujarati poets of late part of 20th century, Umashankar Joshi, who went on to become the only chancellor of the Vishwabharati and Shantiniketan. You can't think of 20th century Gujarati poetry without sensing in it the Bengali rhythms.
Welcome to the University of Salamanca. You know that this is the fourth oldest university in Europe.
Jorge, our invaluable guide, is a teacher of post-colonial literature at the stunning university town of Salamanca, the first Tagore destination. His students, he says, are...
They won't be familiar with Tagore, they would be familiar with Aishwarya Rai.
Just like us.
Yes, from a L'Oreal ad or something like that. And also they would be familiar with Bollywood, like that.
I think all the films are so full of life and color and music. I like them.
So what do you expect to find in the short story we are going to read by Tagore called The Kabuliwala?
An insight into the Indian culture.
Before we start introducing India in post-colonial literature class, there wasn't an Indian reading. There was only Salman Rushdie and Aravind Adiga's The White Tiger in British, 20th century British novelism. And now this is the first year we are starting with Tagore because we think we really need to do some proper Indian author.
The students provided a glimpse into university life in Spain. It was ragging time for a new batch. Inside these historic buildings, intensive sessions like this one.
When Zenobia sent her first translation, when she read it, the first poems when she was in the United States, and sent it to Juan Ramon, he was absolutely wonderstruck, and he found that this was a completely new world. It changed his life almost, 180 degrees. It got Zenobia near to him. They got married because of these translations.
It's this influence that draws literary critics like Emilia Cortés to Tagore.
The first thing I have to say and to confess is that I love Zenobia. Zenobia había pensado varias veces escribir a Tagore una carta, y cuando se lo contaba a Juan Ramón le decía, voy a escribir a Tagore. Juan Ramón le decía, ¿para qué le vas a escribir si Tagore no nos conoce? Si no, ¿qué le va a decir nuestras cartas? Pero ella finalmente, ella sentía dentro de ella, espiritualmente en su alma, que debía conectarse con Tagore, y finalmente le escribió.
From the pages of history to a modern-day love story. In the way Tagore brought Juan Ramón and Zenobia closer, José Paz sees a parallel with his own life.
Culpa la tiene mi esposa Ana, que además está enfadada porque me dice, ¿para qué te regalaría yo 3 libros de Rabindranath Tagore? Noukadubi, Gora y Gibbon Riti, Recuerdos, El naufragio y Gora. Ektaratir, ektitare, ganervedon boitenare. A partir de ahí, no he dejado de leer a Tagore y por tanto empecé a formar la biblioteca que puede considerarse como la más importante del mundo porque tiene más de 30.000 volúmenes en todos los idiomas del mundo, incluido Esperanto.
José Paz's collection of books and Rabindra Sangeet is simply museum-worthy. If Tagore's Spanish translations endure, English is a more contested terrain. Tagore did his own translations of his poems from Gitanjali into English. The English Gitanjali we are familiar with, though, is a version revised by the great English poet W.B. Yeats. Some scholars like William Radici contend that the Yeats edition missed the sequencing and rhythm of Tagore's original.
It's not just a matter of changes to individual words and phrases, and there are many of those. The selection of poems was changed because the published Gitanjali has 103 poems, whereas the manuscript has 83. The order was changed completely. Many commas were put in, these short paragraph divisions, which made it seem rather biblical, which did affect the whole way in which Gitanjali was read and perceived.
Radici's own recent dynamic translations of Gitanjali are being called dynamic and have churned the world of literary translations.
For years, I was reluctant to translate songs at all because I felt you needed the melody. And Tagore himself said that songs without the melody were like a butterfly whose wings had been plucked. But eventually I arrived at a method for translating the songs, and it was very simple, but it took me many years to arrive at this method. I preserve the repetition of the lines that you have when the song is sung.
In the evenings, the morning lectures would come to life through music and artistic interpretations.
Sharp winds blow, clouds rush across the skies, boatman, let's go, boatman, let's go.
Whenever you're doing any translation in English and I get the feel of it, I'll try and hum the music.
Mooring chains clink and clatter, boat feels no grief or terror, can't now endure its terror. Heave ho, let's go, heave ho.